First and foremost, all thanks and praises unto our power, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Wa Rakakwadash. Peace, blessings, and much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth. To the rest of the church who believe as well, you men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons, and daughters also. The water, which means thank you to Yahweh Shai, because without him endearing and going to that cross for the world of Israel and the world of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. So I'm going to go on ahead and start this lesson off in the book of Proverbs, chapter 12. In verse 26, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. The wicked being Esau, Edom. They've been given the world. The power is in their hand to do wickedly. So in order for our people to really make it in this world, they have to go through Esau. They have to do what Esau tells them to do. Now Esau will bribe them, show them a fancy house, show them all these different women, show them jewelry, show them what it's like to have power in your hand and have people do what you ask them to do with no questions because of your position. And all that sounds good on paper, okay? But a lot of that access comes with a whole lot of wickedness. You're not going to receive success in this world and not have to be wicked, okay? The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. So when you look at the righteous, being the Israelites, our people are supposed to be living uprightly. But Esau will bribe them to do wickedly. That's why you'll see people such as Young Thug throwing on a dress, okay? Because why? Well, hey, if you throw on a dress, you can be even more popular. If you throw on a dress, we can get you even more, I would say record sales. They don't sell records no more, but we'll get you even more downloads. Okay. That'll get you even more fans, right? That'll have certain people at the top looking at you and opening more doors for opportunity for you. Although a man shouldn't be wearing a dress, you can make it even further if you put that dress on. Okay. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. So in order to really make it in this world, you got to sell out. And we who are of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that's not the spirit we are in. We're willing to suffer patiently to receive our reward. Now we're going through our humiliation on the right hand. The people of this world, they got to go through their humiliation on the left hand. Okay. You have men who are willing to give up their wife to have some seat in Hollywood. Okay. And when I say give up their wife, allow another man or other men to pop their wife. Okay. They're into satanic rituals, throwing up certain symbols and things like that because they're juiced in. They've been seduced. All right. But we who are of this truth, that's not the spirit we're in. Now let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. So if someone's oppressed, they'll be wise to be angry at that. Now Esau, seeing our people in oppression, he'll bribe our people, give our people gifts. And then through these gifts, our people will become, they'll become hush mouth. All of a sudden they went from being angry and being bothered to now they feel fine because they've been given a bag. They've been paid off. Okay. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. So if someone gives you a gift, it could really cloud your judgment. Here it is, someone's evil, but because they give you a gift, now you justify their wickedness. Okay? Now because you've been given the bag, you've been given opportunity, now you'll justify being a sodomite. Now you'll justify, as a female, you'll justify being a whore. The scriptures tell you the love of money is the root of all evil. Money itself isn't evil. The love of it is. Okay? And when people love it, okay, loving it too much, it can cause them to be bribed. It can cause them to do unthinkable things, very shameful things. That's why a lot of people who have a lot of money in this world, who have, access to things at their fingertips, low key, they're miserable because they're pondering on what they had to do to get there. Okay? And you have a lot of people in positions because of nepotism as well. Put in positions because of people they're related to or someone they know. All right? But then, even with that, they'll still be doing a whole bunch of wickedness to move up the ladder. All right? That's how it goes. Revelations chapter 3 and 17. Because thou sayest, I am rich and increase with goods and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. So many people who have increased in this world, who have been paid off with gifts and different things, who have sold out to the devil because of their distractions, right? They have all this money. They have people around them all the time. They might be taking trips, taking photos of themselves all the time. People making them feel like they really matter. They don't really have that time to ponder on how miserable they really are. It's not until they slow down for a little bit and they're alone. They might be looking in the mirror. Okay? And those feelings start to come up on them. Those feelings start to fester because they acknowledge what they had to do to get in a position. But see, what we're involved in, we're not going to regret when we receive our rewards. We're not going to have sorrow of mind. We're not going to have everything that our heart desires, but then at the same time, we're depressed and miserable because we had to do something, very shameful, something unthinkable in order to get it. Absolutely not. But that's how people are getting in this world. And that's why at the end of the day, we shouldn't be envious of the people of this world. It's their time. Right now, we're in the time of vanity. We're in the time of the Gentile. And that includes our people who act like the Gentiles. Okay? Because thou sayest, I am rich and increase with goods and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. So at the end of the day, someone's money, someone's position in this world does not mean the Lord is with them. It does not mean they're not going to have a horrible end. It does not mean they can't lose it overnight. Okay? It does not mean people really love them. In fact, it's even harder to know who loves them because of their position. Okay? Now we go through our humility. We got to go through the fire. We have to go through our trials and tribulations. But then you'll see people that don't deserve it in positions that seem to be privileged. But remember, low key, these people are actually miserable. They might be rich. Okay, they might have that spanking house. They might have a few houses. Might have multiple cars, multiple women. Okay? Have access to, multiple business deals. And they're really miserable. They're really broken. Now let's go to the book of Colossians. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 1. If ye then be risen with Mashiach, seek those things which are above. So we have our mind on the kingdom of heaven. And see, the path that we're on, we go through a different sense of shame than those of this world. The shame that we go through are from non-believers. You know, the demons that are on these people that afflict us, false brethren. You know, we go through our shame, but our shame isn't from Esau's bribery. Okay, our shame doesn't come from Esau saying, hey, put this dress on, because you have Israelites doing that. Israelites willing to put dresses on. Israelites willing to be sodomites, as what some will say gay for pay. Okay, you have Israelites willing to do human sacrifices. Israelites willing to pray to Baphomet. You have Israelites really involved in dark things, all through a bribe because they want it now. They want this world. And at the end of the day, you know, who doesn't want to be comfortable to some degree? Who doesn't want access to certain things? Of course. But you have to have a sense of integrity, okay? And knowing that we're going to get all of our heart's desires just doing the right thing, why not just do the right thing? It's because you have to wait that many say, all hell with that, okay? If ye then be risen with Mashiach, seek those things which are above. See, that's the white man's book. See, why we gotta wait? Why can't we have it now? Where Mashiach sitteth on the right hand of God. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. So the things here on the earth are going to pass away. Things here on the earth can be taken from you. They can be destroyed. They collect dust. Okay? Over time, you start losing interest in some of it. So at the end of the day, why set your affection on things on this earth? You have people doing shameful things just to have earthly treasure, okay? For ye are dead and your life is hid with Mashiach and God. So we're dead to this world. That's why we're not all popular. You know, that's why it feels like, you know, to the masses of people, it feels like we don't matter. We don't exist. We're dead to this world, okay? But our life is hid with Mashiach. Verse 4, when Mashiach, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory. So we're going to receive glory when Yahushua returns. We don't have to go through the shameful, the shameful things that people do, seeing that Esau being the devil. Esau will be like, okay, you signed this contract, la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. But then with that contract, there's a whole bunch of things in that contract you don't understand. Okay, you don't have a lawyer. Okay, so you're just thinking, oh, hey, I can get this money. I could change my life. But really, you're signing your life over, because you have artists being played by what's known as 360 deals. Basically, the money they thought they had actually was just a loan to them, and they got to make that money right back. Okay? You have a lot of, you know, secret societies. You have a lot of fraternities. You have a lot of people in colleges who are set up to be put in positions because of nepotism, praying to evil spirits, doing all sorts of homosexual acts, involved in orgies, you know, burning candles, praying to, you know, different idols. Okay? And then one day they get that opportunity to get those millions and millions and millions of dollars, but they're still miserable because in the back of their mind, they know what they had to do and what they have to still do. But we're going to receive our glory ultimately when Yahushua returns, and we're not going to be questioning, why do we do that? That just don't feel right, you know? Having those doubts, when we receive our reward, we are going to be happy. We're not going to have those regrets. We're not going to backtrack and say, oh, maybe I shouldn't have did this. This ain't right. No, we're not going to be miserable when we receive our kingdom like those of this world. Okay? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, and verse 8. A man shall be commended according to his wisdom, but he that is of a perverse heart shall be despised. So this wisdom is going to get us commended in our kingdom. We don't have to be sellouts. We don't have to be wicked, praying to idols, okay? Doing homosexual activities, being adulterers, okay? Doing just evil things to have a place in this world. We don't have to do that. All we have to do is live upright. And we're going to receive everything. And even before we receive everything, the Lord gives us blessings now. Okay, there's things you might want now the Lord can give you right now. Okay, but ultimately we're going to get everything in our kingdom. And it starts with us having this wisdom. A man shall be commended according to his wisdom, but he that is of a perverse heart shall be despised. And Esau's going to be despised in our kingdom because he has a perverse heart and he likes to bribe our people to do all sorts of evil. And our people being in a lower state, okay, certain of our people who are in impoverished positions, it's a lot easier for them to be bribed by the wicked one, okay? But we don't have to sell out. We don't have to, do all that left-hand nonsense to get a place in this world, all right? All we have to do is wait, do what the Lord asked us to do, and we're going to receive everything. Zephaniah 3:19. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth and gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. So our fame and our praise will come. But right now, the wicked, they're getting it in, and they're bribing others, especially of our people, to do all this nonsense just for them to get a little crumb, to get a little piece of the pie. Okay, Esau will be sitting on billions of dollars, but then the Israelite will be thinking they're doing something because they got a few million. Okay? So we're going to be reverenced. We're going to be honored for doing what we're doing now. And it might not seem like it right now, but believe me, we're going to receive that glory soon enough. All right? And we're not going to have to, have those feelings of doubt and regret, feeling wrong about it, feeling dirty. Right? Not at all. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out, speaking of the Israelites. And I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame, speaking of the Lord's prophets, the Lord's believers. Okay? Right now we're under these curses, so it's easy for Esau to use that against our people. Okay? But having the mentality of just knowing we're going to get it all anyway, just hold off, just chill out, be grateful with your portion, be content with your situation, because you're already rich. You already have it all. Okay? Just wait. But then some will say, well, I've been waiting. I'm tired of waiting. Well, waiting is a big piece of being in this ministry. You're not wanting for nothing. You're not on the street starving. Okay? You got your hobbies that you enjoy. Okay? You have a vehicle or your horse to get around. Or you might not have that, but you might have someone else kind of helping you get around. So it's not like putting you in a predicament where you just don't have access. You know what I mean? Like, we're in a place where we're able to maintain. We're in a decent position, but we're going to receive everything. All we have to do is just do the right thing. And then with doing the right thing, even on this side, blessings are going to come your way also. Everything doesn't have to be in the kingdom of heaven. Oh, well, I don't get good things. I have to wait till the kingdom for that. No, the Lord does good for us now. Okay? But those who are in this world, who are living fat, who are shining, okay, who are traveling the world, having access to all these different women, and people deem them as important, they are miserable people, because you better believe they've been bribed to do some filth, some abominable things. But we're going to get our fame, we're going to get our praise in the world to come. And once that happens, our people will be willing then. Right now, they don't take us serious. Okay? Right now, our people love to try to push our buttons, try to belittle us, but it don't work. Psalms chapter 110:3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, and the beauties of holiness. From the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth. So our people might not see the importance in us now, but eventually we're going to get that fame and that praise. We're being put to shame now, but that time's coming where the tables will turn. And our people will be willing when we get that power. And when we get that power, it's not going to be from us being wicked because we robbed somebody, okay? Or because we murdered somebody. Or because we had to put on a dress, be sodomites, men laying down with men. No, not at all. We're going to receive everything just off living upright, doing what the Lord's asking us to do, feeding the sheep, okay, just bearing these burdens, fighting that fight of affliction, okay? But the day's going to come where our people are going to acknowledge us. They're going to consider. But right now, those of this world, everybody's attention is on them. These rich and miserable ass people of this world. Okay? Let's go to the book of Luke. Luke chapter 13 and verse 25. When once the master of the house is risen up and hath shut to the door, and ye begin to stand without and to knock at the door, saying, Lord, Lord, open unto us. And he shall answer and say unto you, I know ye not whence ye are. So just like in the ancient days, when the ark was shut, it was sealed shut. You had people beating on the door hoping to get in. Well, when Yahushua returns, he's only going to deliver his elect. Everyone else is going to be shut out. Okay? They're going to witness the people that you saw teaching on the streets, who you were laughing at, making mockery of. You thought they were crazy because they might have had a revelation or whatever the case may be. Okay? You're going to see a lot of these men being taken up in a huge spaceship. And then others are going to be left out. Then shall you begin to say, we have eaten and drunk in thy presence, and thou hast taught in our streets. Because that's where the prophets are going to be found. You might be teaching. People might be eating McDonald's, driving by you. You might be teaching near a restaurant. People are looking out the glass window and they see you teaching the word. But they rejected you. They might have laughed at you or just totally didn't even acknowledge you in general. Right? But see, our shame that we're going through now is going to be turned to fame very soon. And those of this world who might have it now, all that's going to be taken from them. Okay? Then shall you begin to say, we have eaten and drunk in thy presence, and thou hast taught in our streets. So you're going to see men being taken up in the chariot, and you're going to know, hey, that's that guy that was teaching on the street. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Right? But he shall say, I tell you, I know ye not whence ye are. Depart from me, all you workers of iniquity. So as the elect are being taken up into a chariot, people are going to acknowledge them. They're going to say things like, I remember that guy. He was the one teaching that Bible on the street. Okay? There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth when ye shall see Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all the prophets in the kingdom of God, and you yourselves thrust out. So when you see the elect going up into a chariot, and those of you who don't believe being left down here, you going to feel real dumb in that day. All you Israelites who wanted to get it now, you sold out. You've done all these shameful things. All that's going to come to an end eventually. But when the day comes that the elect get delivered and taken up out of here, people are going to know. They're going to see it with their own eyes. Okay? And they shall come from the east and from the west and from the north and from the south, and shall sit down in the kingdom of God. And behold, there are last which shall be first, and there are first which shall be last. Okay? So the elect are going to be delivered. And people are going to watch them be delivered. And they're going to say things to themselves, like, I remember him teaching that Bible. But it don't matter what you remember, because you're going to be left down here because you didn't believe. You wanted it now. You wanted to go get your portion now. So you were willing to sell out. You were willing to lie to our people. You were willing to put the word off from day to day. Okay? See, we're doing it the right way. And that's why we're not going to regret once we receive our reward like the people of this world do. They have all these regrets. Even if they deny it because they're on the move a lot, they don't really have that time to just sit down and ponder. But when they get those moments and they're alone to themselves, you better believe those thoughts come up that bring them down because they know what they've been doing ain't right. Okay? So those of us who are in this ministry, it might seem like those of this world are just having a ball. They just living it up. They doing what the hell they want to do. But we can't be deceived by the surface. You know, everything isn't what it seems. And those of this world who have it now, it's only for a short time anyway. Okay? Plus, we're in the season of war. You know, that situation going on between America, Israel, and then Iran. These are just signs of the times. These are just signs that we don't got much longer. America is burying herself. America's not going to get out of what's coming. There's not a lot of time of this place left. So it'll be real silly to want to be in the mentality of trying to sell out anyway. Okay? Our day is going to come. And when it does come, we are going to remember all the people that hated on us, all the people that tried to belittle us. Man, we're going to be bragging and boasting in the kingdom. We humble now, but we're not going to be like that in the kingdom. I'm going to close it with this. In Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 6. But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord Yahweh. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles. And in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. So we're going to boast in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? And we're going to be glorified. For your shame ye shall have double. And in these lands where we've been put to shame, we're going to receive that fame. Okay? For your shame ye shall receive double. And for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them. So we're going to get everlasting joy. The people of this world, they're depressed. They're full of misery, everlasting misery. Okay? But we're not going to be like that. And we're going to have eternity to enjoy it from the very second that our bodies get changed. We already know. Not only is it up from here, it don't stop from here. It's just going to keep going forever and ever and ever. The people of this world know in the back of their mind, one day is going to end. one day it's got to stop. All right. But I pray that this lesson, it was simple and edifying. All praises unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem Wa Rakakwada Shalom.